Oh shit. Kicking cardboard. Hello, and welcome to Benny's Alternate Universe. It's a place where I invite you to come into my zone and check out what's going on in the tape collection, and I'm very excited to have two of my best friends, Jill and Noel, here with me. And they have been kind enough to bring over this tape that we're going to review today. Talk about a little bit, talk about what was going on in the industrial rock, goth rock scene with 9 Inch Nails and their debut, Pretty Hate Machine. So if you'll excuse me for 1 second, I'm going to let Jill take over while I turn the tape up a little bit.
Okay, the reason I chose this tape is because it was a difference from the metal I was listening to, and I happened to hear it in an 80s, corny 80s movie with Corey Haim called Prayer of the Roller Boys. And I remember looking at the end and be like, I gotta find this tape. So when I got the tape, and this is the original tape that I bought. And I played it in every car since high school, or not, well, since '89. But when I went to high school, and every car I've owned ever since then that had a tape, all of them had a tape player, and that tape has played in them.
So you love this tape?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to that tape.
Now, Noel, I know you're a 9 Inch Nails fan too, and I'm a 9 Inch Nails fan. What, for people who don't know what 9 Inch Nails is all about, like, what do you think was it about Pretty Hate Machine? Because I'd say this is a classic record, really, at this point.
Because it's '89.
What was it that made this stand out so much in '89 from whatever else was going on?
Well, I think it really was basically it was sort of starting off, ending the 80s, closing out the 80s in a very dark fashion. There was something, it wasn't, I think for listeners at the time, I think they sort of looked at what Trent Reznor was doing, and this wasn't just going to be another one of these new wave acts that kind of tones it down for future releases. He got darker and darker.
Now this wasn't the start of the industrial scene, but this was kind of important industrial record, if I'm not mistaken, because it was so popular. Who was... See, I'm not up on industrial that much. I know Throbbing Gristle was around before 9 Inch Nails. Ministry, were they really industrial before this?
Not till about 86 that they started displaying that.
Because I've heard some earlier records of them, and I wouldn't say they're industrial. They're more like techno kind of feel
to me. 9 Inch Nails reminds me of Depeche Mode, but Depeche Mode's not in the heart of a fashion of it. Because I saw Depeche Mode and 9 Inch Nails together, and Depeche Mode opened up.
Oh, when was that?
That was at Madison Square Garden. I don't know what year it was, but that
90s?
No,
2000s.
Probably late 2000s.
Okay.
But it was the best time I saw 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Their live shows are
legendary. That's a band I really want to see. They are on my bucket list, but I haven't seen them.
Oh, incredible.
And another thing about 9 Inch Nails that's kind of interesting is, at least at this point, they were just a one-man band, right? It was just Trent Reznor.
Trent Reznor did all of it, played every instrument, did everything.
He's a really great keyboard player, too. I don't know if you ever seen him just jamming on a piano or whatever. He's really an awesome piano player. So lyrically, it's dark. Sonically, it's got a little bit of an industrial flavor. I would say that this maybe had their most, I want to be careful how I phrase this, pop sensibility. I know Downward Spiral had a lot of hits and it was an awesome album, but it was also pretty out there, and I always thought that was cool that an album that was so unconventional could have such big hits.
See, this reminds me of his most industrial album because he did it on his off time from work. He was a janitor at a record studio, so he did it on his off time.
I think as he kept working and putting out more albums, of course, Broken was the next one after this, right?
Yeah.
Which was a lot heavier, a lot more guitars, a lot more screaming. But he always progressed and tried to enhance his sound, and just the constant with Nine Inch Nails is it's dark. Always going to be dark, and it's always going to be in some way electronic.
Yeah, it is electronic.
Yes. But then, you know, there's a lot you can do within that framework. I think he's done a lot of different kinds of albums over the years.
You know what's great? It is dark, but with an upbeat. So, you know, when
That's
you see
true,
when
this
you see
album
them
especially
live,
is really upbeat.
I dance when I see them live because you can. It's dark and it's the vocals are
really
dark, but it's an
what they
upbeat.
got,
Yeah,
that they got that dance thing going for them
yeah.
too. And this is the kind of thing that you would expect to hear at like Partners, goth night.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And
No, it's totally true.
for those who don't know, this
Endorsement for Partners.
Yeah, Partners, Goth
Woo,
Night.
Goth
Night. We love Goth Night. That's a local
Goth and bondage
dance
night.
thing where people get dressed up goth and they dance to Nine Inch Nails and they dance to Bauhaus and shit like that. Pretty cool. This is a Terrible Lie right here. And this was a cool tune. I remember this had some weird synths. All kinds of cool synth sounds on this album for sure. You know what I love is, I think we just, oh no, it didn't come on yet, but it's Sanctified.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, I'm sanctified. And that's how it comes on, like a malfunctioning printer sound. He's like, I'm sanctified. I wish I had like a beatbox, somebody who could beatbox here that could really make that sound. But you know what I'm talking
I like
about.
Kinda I Want To. That's
Yeah. That's
it's
why
like
do you like that?
boom, 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 you know.
Yeah. There were a lot of cool sounds, and especially when you play this loud or listen to it in a good system.
Yeah.
There are still little details that can jump out.
My
Trent
81
Reznor is always great as having details. Very detailed production.
my
Sorry.
81 Firebird had like killer sounds. Like pulling to school, listen to this, and I'm like, yeah, you don't even know. Like,
God, I want to.
I gotta give a shout out to my friend Wilson because she is a bigger Nine Inch Nails fan than I am.
Oh, no
So,
kidding.
Yeah, I go to concerts with her.
Yeah, and I wish Chrissy could be here too. She's
Yeah.
a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. She loves this album. This, you know, I gotta admit, this is not my favorite Nine Inch Nails album, just because two things, I guess. The vocal on this album to me is just a little bit melodramatic.
Yeah.
And I know it's Nine Inch Nails, and I know it's supposed to be dramatic, but sometimes it's a little melodramatic. And also, he has the lyric, I don't know what fucking song it is, where he's like, rain, rain, go away. Come again some other day.
Yeah.
My least favorite Nine Inch Nails vocal of their entire career.
You gotta
just every time.
You gotta kill it for me.
No, I'm sorry. You know, this is what we do. It's Benny's alternate universe. No, I do love it though. I mean, I think it's a great album. It's just not one of my favorites. My favorite is, of course, Downward Spiral. Always.
Yeah, I mean.
Downward Spiral is always going to be my favorite. But I mean, this is a great album too. It's pretty heavy machine. What else can we say about this?
And I got it on tape, which fits the profile.
Yeah, you gotta have it on tape.
Yeah.
This is a black tape. Oh, we can take a look at the cover too. Is that Trent Reznor right there with his shirt off, or is that just some random?
No, that's him.
That's him. Okay, so let's get a
Show
look
the
at the
viewers.
physique. This is what Jill and Chrissy and all the women, young girls, all the teenage girls at the time, or maybe even preteen, were jamming out to. Trent Reznor. It's black. You know, everything's black.
It's got pink on
None
there.
more black, with a little pink, just to show off his sensual side. What is this cover anyway? I always wondered that. Is that a typewriter or?
I think it's a
Fan
spine. It looks like the spine
Spine?
from Alien.
Oh yeah.
Show it to everyone.
Yeah, famous cover. I'd say this is a famous cover, right? Yeah. And so he did this, then he would go on to do Broken, Downward Spiral, The Fragile. And then after that, I feel like he kind of fell off a little bit, don't you?
A little bit.
At least as far as having hits. Some of those records are pretty good. I've heard With Teeth.
Oh yeah, that's
With
really
Teeth
good.
is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was a good
I
album.
like
Ghost
it a lot.
series 1 through 4, I kind of like from a. Had I been in the room when he was recording that, I would have said maybe just put it under your own name, and maybe not Nine Inch Nails. It just didn't really come off as like almost sort of like
That
how
was
he did
that was
the
his
sound.
ambient series that he did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then he trying to remember the soundtrack of the movie.
Social Network.
Social Network, and
He won an Oscar for that.
did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trent Reznor, Oscar winner.
Oscar
Woohoo!
winner.
Congratulations, bud. Whoops.
Oh,
Oh well. Spills happen. I'm Benny's
we're just gonna put this on the floor now.
I'll
So,
take it.
Thank you.
so the ambient series was kind of, it was okay, but it wasn't that much Nine Inch Nails sounding. Now, what about his latest album? Have you heard this? The latest Nine Inch Nails?
I have not heard his latest album.
Oh man, you
I
gotta check it out. It's, the last two actually. Of course, I can't. The new one I think is called Bad Witch, if I'm not mistaken, and it's out there. I mean, it's definitely. The ambient series made me think of it because I was thinking, you know, if I owned it, I would probably like it more. You know, because things that you own, or at least for me, I tend to put them in and leave them in for a long time. You know, so I might listen to it 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times, just flipping the tape. You know.
Yeah, it's hard because you don't really go out and buy new music anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it used to be. Where Like, oh, you know, you see the video because where's the video? They don't
There's
show
no
videos
video.
anymore.
Right, they're on the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to look for
You
them.
have to look for them.
I
When
mean,
you
that's the
were,
biggest
you have
thing.
to
is-
do the work.
Yeah, you now have to actively seek out the thing where before they would present it to you.
Yeah.
You know, in some ways, it was better. In some ways, it was worse.
yeah.
I don't know that we can really comment on it at all because it's just much too complicated. Problem.
I know.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Is it better for the artists now that because we are, at least me and Noel, recording artists, now that we have control of the means of production and distribution, now that we have unquestioned total artistic freedom at any time we want, and access to studios that are just as good as any in the world that are free on our phones, is that better for us? Now that the market's so saturated by people like us that there's really can't expect for there to be any kind of financial support from any big, you know, corporation, especially when there's no money to be made off it because the music has been devalued so much because it no longer needs to exist in the physical realm to be listened to. I mean, this is like heady stuff, man. We can get into this on the Nine Inch Nails review. That's not what this program is about. I mean, I appreciate you guys coming over. I was hoping we could have some new ideas flying around, but this is too much.
Well, I will say that as an artist in general, though, I've always really liked what Trent Reznor's done musically because he's never just stayed. He's always going to have that touch, with his personal touch with everything.
Definitely.
You know it's Nine
You
Inch
could definitely
Yeah.
tell. And even when he worked with Marilyn Manson,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could hear the Trent Reznor stamp on it. Really important too that Trent Reznor was the guy who discovered and really
Yeah, Marilyn Manson.
hyped and helped Marilyn Manson on his Nothing Records label.
You can hear the similarities in the music too. You know?
Yeah, so I think he has a good ear for talent too,
Yeah.
because Manson was, you really can't underestimate how influential he was in his time.
Another icon
And he did make
for
some good
goth.
records too. I mean,
Yep.
maybe not mind-blowing, but you know, serviceable. As far as getting his message across, he had some pretty cool tunes to go with it.
Oh yeah.
I think we all are always going to love beautiful people. Oh shit, we're running out of time.
Oh.
Here on Benny's Alternate Universe, it was 9 Inch Nails. Jill and Noel, thank you for stopping by. Getting the